It doesn't care about Latino literature. They don't care about the heroes of this culture, you know?
Yeah, and that's actually, it's interesting that you stated it in that way. So, like, could you point out to maybe any other battles that you see where maybe there are those types of divisions happening that you'd say, like, maybe there's a bigger picture that's missing?
I just wish, like, I wish everybody would just, like, sit down and speak their truth, sort of. Like, even getting to hear it, I think that that's the beginning. Like, there's a Native American practice, which we all did in the beginning to get to know each other, called counsel, where you pass around a stick, and each person speaks from their heart, and they say their story about different kinds of things. Like, if we were going to say, like, let's talk about gentrification, and you start talking about the issue, then you get to see the heart of each person and the struggle that they've gone through, which helps you to find the wisdom, because there's wisdom in every single person's story, and getting to know that wisdom stops you from being so quick to judge. And I think that the judgment is what blocks us from being able to work together, because then you're like, I don't like that person, I'm not going to talk to them anymore. But they might actually be doing something bigger, like helping your brother to get out of jail and not ever get back in. But you're calling him a gentrifier over here, and you're hurting his business. And actually, he's saving something that's really dear to you, and you're hurting him on one side, and on the other side, you know, it's just crazy. So I mean, I just think in general, I just wish people communicated more and talked about these things and talked about what really is going on.
Do you see any of those types of forums happening currently? And, like, what would you say has been the most influential in trying to forum or organization trying to bring those types of conversations to this community?
Well, like I said, the youth are really strong. I wish to see more of that coming from them, because they've got a good way, and people will come. Like, if youth ask you to come and, you know, share as a community, people want to, because they want to be able to talk to the youth, and they want to be models for the youth. And, you know, so if they're bringing those kind of dialogues into the picture, then it's good. We did have, like, for instance, about homelessness, we brought in a girl named Inocente, who ended up, she when she was 15, she was both, her family came over from Mexico, and they were on the street, they were homeless, and she ended up being a really, like, she expressed herself through art. Somebody found her in one of the shelters or something that she went through, and they decided to give their attention to her. And now she's 18. She came here to Santa Ana, and she showed at OCA, like, a documentary they made about her life. And also, she hadn't been talking to her mom. But what's interesting is she won the Oscar this year as first independent, like, the movie as an independent film for, like, Sundance or whatever. But the thing that was crazy is we felt so privileged to have her come here and speak and tell her struggle. And then we had a huge dialogue session afterwards. And then, like, a few months later, to see her on TV in the Oscars and be like, she came through Santa Ana before she was even, you know, in the Oscars. And she was a girl who started out just being on the street. And, like, I mean, just all the struggles that she dealt with from being homeless to now, and that she believed in something. She was passionate about art. And that became her way of expressing herself to the world, and it got taken up, and now people are buying her art all over the place. And it just, to me, those are the kind of things, like the dialogue that went, and her speaking from the heart, and that she decided, like, what she's going to do is she's an activist too. Like, she's going to go out and she's going to talk to other, like, people about what happened, and bring a lot of light to the issue of, like, homelessness, and also the intersection between immigration and homelessness, because a lot of people come over and they don't have, I mean, they're struggling to survive, and then they have even less because they don't have an identification card, they don't have, you know, all these things. So it's like they're not even here, they're voiceless. And, like, so to me, there's just something so, I don't know, there's a lot of work to do. That's what I think.
Just briefly, because I know you had also mentioned that you are working with the United Artists as well, so I don't know if you could talk briefly about their work and maybe the role of art in the city.
Yeah, the United Artists, they had started a group called Avasa earlier, but it broke up. And then they started a group called United Artists after, because a lot of the United Artists were part of Occupy. A lot of groups came. The IWW movement in Orange County, one of the activists started that from Occupy. So they all started these other groups and brought in people. But the United Artists, there was a fight because the Santor Arts Building was going to be sold. And I guess when Mike Hara, who's like, owns like 50 businesses here in Santa Ana and has a lot of money, and he's going to build Broadway 1, he actually owns that building, and they were going to sell it to a church. And a lot of the artists were like, that's crazy. Like, a church can't have, like, right downtown Santa Ana. Like, this is supposed to be for the arts. So they all fought, and they won in City Hall. Again, they put pressure. They got 800 signatures, like, in a few days to, like, stop the sales of that building. And so... and they meet, and they just, it was really nice because during the film fiesta, one of the people in United Artists is in the film fiesta, she actually would go out and find out what's happening in the community and put films up about like green, like gardening or like different kinds of things that were going on, and then bring in people from our community who are doing that, like at Jerome Park and the Grain Project, and then have them come in and do these dialogue sessions like she did with Inocente. So that was really cool because she brought up a lot of different issues, and she came and used people from the community to share what they're doing, which is something that the issues with Downtown Inc. and everything, which is what the fight has been, is that they're like community based, or community placed, but not community based. Like, they don't care about the community. They just are here, and then they want to bring in people from outside. Whereas like stuff like the film fiesta, they actually see the people in the community as the rich resource, and they want to share more about what people in the community are doing and make events that are already here flourish, like Dia de los Muertos and Dia de los Niños, and like Disneyland tried to purchase the name Dia de los Muertos recently. Like, I mean, that's crazy. But at the same time, it shows you how powerful a celebration like Dia de los Muertos is. And we in Santa Ana, there's that celebration is here. Like, they have it. It's like one of the largest ones compared to like the other places like Los Angeles. But right next door, Anaheim wanted to purchase the name and make it theirs. Like, they wanted to own it. And people said no, and they're not going to own that day. They're not going to own a historic like celebration that belongs to people's cultural heritage, But it just shows you in a way like how powerful those things are. And I don't know, the United Artists, there's clashes with United Artists. There's clashes all over the place in this city. And I just think people need to talk to each other. But you should have a United Artists person come in here and talk. I'll tell somebody if you want me to tonight, because there's people.
Yeah, definitely. We've been trying to get Alicia. It's just scheduling a problem so far. But anyone else you could recommend, we'd love to interview.
Yeah, there's lots of United Artists. So yeah.
Cool. Anything else you want to add before we end? Okay. Well, thank you very much for doing this. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.